And now it's the turn of representative of EFD, European Free Democrats, Mr. Dartmouth.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner-designate, the 27 member states of the European Union have economies of different size, different structure, different characteristics, and different requirements in trade policy. However, the only representation which EU members, including the UK, have at the WTO, the World Trade Organization, is through the EU Trade Commissioner. How, as EU Trade Commissioner, will you be able to advance fully and equally the trade interests of each and every one of the 27 member states, especially as you apparently also have a very full political agenda, which you referred to twice in your opening remarks and also in the answer to several of these previous questions?
Thank you. 2 minutes for the reply, Mr. de Gucht.
I think that the unique feature of the European Union is precisely that we can come to a common position and defend it effectively on the international scene. That's what the European Union is about. Because the remark you're making about trade policy, you can make that on any policy. I mean, obviously we are different, but we are 27 and we have upgraded our decision-taking rules in the Lisbon Treaty. We also did that with respect to trade. Parliament will be fully involved, and of course you will see not only political differences in the Parliament, but obviously also on some topics national differences. And that's why we have the European Union, to overcome those differences. I mean, and I think this is a very basic difference of opinion between yourself and mine, but that's why you are in a Parliament. And you have your own opinion. I have also my personal opinion, but I'm not reflecting my personal opinion here. I'm reflecting the opinion of the College of the European Commission. Now, if a problem is very complicated, and obviously trade is not simple because it's a very vast subject, it's also a lot of political connotations, I would be inclined to think that it's better that you only have one trade commissioner. I mean, I don't think it would be easier if you have 2 or 3 to manage a job.
1 minute for the follow-up question.
Well, I must say it's very impressive to get a reply, which is 40% under the time, to a very complicated question. I particularly asked this question as a United Kingdom MEP, because before Britain joined the then common market in 1973, we enjoyed a very large trade surplus with the member countries of the European Union. Since we've been a member, we've had nothing but a large and mounting trade deficit. So, I mean, our view is that we better off to have our own representation at that. Incidentally, I must crave the indulgence of the Chair to ask a question to which I did refer to in my opening question, which is, perhaps you could tell us something about your political agenda and the extent of it. It's mentioned in 4.3 of your written statement.
1 minute for the reply, Mr. de Gucht.
Maybe it's a good idea that the first question that you were putting, you discuss it also in Westminster. I have no specific opinion on that. What you see is that trade has grown tremendously in the 70s and in the 80s. But I will not dwell on what seemed to me to be rather internal questions. Now, with respect to my political agenda, I think what I explicitated in my speech is what I'm going to do in my job. No? The political agenda is that I'm convinced that our commercial policy will be served by a better and more integrated external policy of the European Union. But I'm also convinced that we will have to take care that we stay independent, that we keep our specificity, because if not, it could make negotiations much more difficult. So I will not allow that there is preeminence of the political approach on the commercial approach. On the other hand, I imagine that the High Representative will not allow that commercial policy is solely based on economic and trade judgments, but that also politics have to come in, and that's why we have a college, and that's why it's a very good idea, this double heading between the Council and the Commission for the High Commissioner, for the High Representative.